Okay, so now we're going to talk about how to actually taste the wine and kind of learn to appreciate some of the little intricacies of that. So what I'm going to do is pour a little wine in my glass, and so go ahead and feel free to grab your glass. The first thing you're going to do is give the wine a little swirl, and what you're doing is you're releasing the little esters and alcohols and the little molecules that hold the flavor. So by swirling that around and then giving it a little bit of a little smell, you can say, smell is so much of your taste. The old example of plug your nose and you taste an onion versus an apple, you can't tell the difference. Well, use your nose when drinking wine and you'll really start to pick up some of the little differences in flavors and aromas. And on a molecular level, the same thing that makes a peach smell like a peach, those things are being released from the wine. So white wines, as you swirl, you may be able to pick up the aromas of apples or peaches or tropical aromas. Depending on whether or not the wine is aged in oak barrels, you may pick up a little bit of a spicy quality, or you can actually smell the wood that the wine is aged in. So you give it a little smell, and I'll find that, after drinking wine for as long as I have, I tend to start swirling everything. And so I'll pour a glass of milk at home, and I'll find I'm swirling it. What am I doing? But anyway, the reason you do that is to really release some of those little flavor aromas. So the next thing you do is you want to take a sip, and you want to make sure the wine is able to coat all the different parts of your mouth and areas of your tongue. Just like with food, different parts of your tongue are going to pick up different flavors. So take a little sip, and then I'll do that, and then I'm going to demonstrate. You'll note I'm spitting the wine out. You're probably not going to do that at home, but being a wine professional, this is something that we do. That way I can sample many different wines without feeling the effects of the wine. Something that I don't recommend doing when you're going out to dinner or at a favorite restaurant, but you can actually suck air in over the top of the wine in your mouth, and that helps to make the aromas airborne, and it helps you pick up the flavors even more. So I'll demonstrate for you just so you can understand. So that's just a way, if you're trying to really get the complete taste of the wine, when you're at home and you're just open up a bottle, feel free to go ahead and try that. Now, the things you want to taste for once the wine is in your mouth, you want to feel the weight and the texture of the wine in your mouth. Some wines are very light and fruity, some wines are real rich and heavy. But you want to try to pick up, okay, what am I feeling as far as the weight and texture? And also, try to note the intensity of those aromas and flavors. You'll find you're drawn more toward the wines that have more powerful aromas and flavors in your mouth. Who wants to drink basically watered down wine? I mean, better wines do have more intensity of flavor and aroma. And then be aware of the finish of the wine. Some wines, they linger with you for probably 20 or 30 seconds after you swallow them. That's a sign of a very good wine, is the length of that finish. Something I want to stress, and I'm throwing a lot of information at you, I really want to stress, drink what you enjoy. Again, just like I said with the glassware, don't get so hung up on the rules that you're not enjoying the wine drinking process. Everybody's taste is different. Just because I say, wow, I love this wine, does not mean you're going to like it. And it doesn't mean I'm right or wrong or you're right or wrong. Drink what you enjoy. Don't get so hung up on the rules. And I'll talk in another segment about pairing wine with food and some of the ideal matches. But again, it's really important to drink what you enjoy. I'm going to real briefly just talk a little bit about wine labels, and then we'll move on to talking about other parts of different types of wines and grapes. wine labels, obviously very prominently it's going to say who made the wine on the label. It will also say where it was made from, obviously which country, but not only that, but which possible sub-region, or what in the wine terms we call appellation, that the wine may come from. It will, and some producers may make 3 different versions of the same type of wine. It might have little things that tell the differences between, whether it's an estate wine or not, or what special vineyard that wine may have come from. It will also tell you the vintage, and that is something that, there are critics and there are wine reviewers who will say, overall, 2004 was a great vintage for this. 2003 was so-so, et cetera, et cetera. You can't keep a mental list of every type of grape and every type of wine and what vintages were good or bad. But keep in mind that some vintages are better than others, and the other thing I'm going to do that kind of ties along with that is why you would possibly let wine lay down in your cellar and not drink it for a few years. This happens to be a 2006 full-bodied red wine. This is made in a style that is ready to drink on release. You don't have to lay this wine down for 5 or 10 years to appreciate it. But some wines are made in a style where the winemaker says, I want to let this wine, it's going to be big and bold and have a lot of a chemical called tannin. Tannin is the chemical that feels like it's sucking all the moisture out of the sides of your mouth. And the tannin level in a wine can be real high, and the fruit aroma of the wine can be this high. As that wine is laid down in your cellar, every day, every year, that tannin level will soften, and what it's doing is it's showing this wonderful fruit flavor and aroma without that chemical. And these are big, bold wines, that, again, you'll have to talk to your wine experts to find out, okay, is this wine ready to drink now? Probably 99.5% of all wine that's made is ready to drink on release. You don't have to lay those down. Anyway, that's just a little bit I wanted to say about the vintage, which you'll find on bottles of wine. The back label, they can pretty much put anything they want on the back label. There's no regulations by the government on that, whereas the front labels of all wines have to be approved by the government. The back label, a lot of times they'll put a little story about the wine or the winery. Well, thank you for joining us for Family Beer and Liquors Wine 101. I'm Tim Althaus. I really hope you have enjoyed the different segments and learning a lot about wine, and hopefully breaking down some of the intimidation that can go into the wine buying process, whether it be in a restaurant or at a retail store like ours, where we have 3,000 varieties of wine to choose from. So feel free to ask your wine experts. We're always here at Family Beer and Liquor to help you with that. We're 1 mile into Illinois on Highway 20. Hope to see you soon. Cheers.